Welcome, everybody. Sorry for that little pause. I'm on my husband's computer, and one of his little pop-ups came up saying that he needed to be in a meeting. And I'm like, oh, hitting it. And I'm like, oh, the next song. Well, welcome. My name is Karen. I'm going to be your host today. And I saw we had quite a few people. And I know Monica is looking for some serenity. And a lot of you guys are really excited about this month's theme of gratitude. I am as well. Super thrilled. Scientifically, it says that when we talk about what we're grateful for, that can really impact our mental health. So I have to admit, I'm not the best about filling out my gratitude log and every month. So I'm really excited spending some time specifically with that. Like I said, my name is Karen. I am from the Bay Area, right outside San Francisco in Marin County. And funny enough, Silk and Saunders is San Francisco based. And in the chat, you have our stage manager, Bailey. She may or may not pop on camera to give you a wave. There she is, giving you a little wave. So she's going to be there to support you. I'll be in that chat as well. And please, if you are brand new, this is a cameras off event. The way we communicate with each other is through the chat. So make sure it's set to everyone. If you have it set to host and panelist, only Bailey and I will see it, which we love seeing what it is. But if you're like, why is no one commenting on what it is that I'm saying? It's because that is why. So I'm just really excited to get and dig into this with you. And I'm so excited for all of the newbies. February was my 3-year anniversary with Silk and Saunders, and I can say it really, absolutely, even before a facilitator, has changed my life for the better. I've changed careers, I've had more adventures, and I am just overall a happier, less anxious, less depressed person. Oh, Bailey, it's your 3rd anniversary this month, 2-year anniversary, Sherry, awesome. You know what? And I just want to say for those newbies out there, I have never, ever filled out an entire journal, not once, and it still works for me. And sometimes I do more journaling, and sometimes I do more habit tracking, and sometimes I throw the habit trackers to the side because it's not working for me, or I change it mid-month. It is a working document. Let it be a working document for you. Make it work for you. So, as I mentioned, so excited about this theme of gratitude. We're glad that you are back. Alicia, Patty's brand new. Oh, Karen, don't feel bad. I've never filled out every single one. I don't think most of our facilitators are. I think Katie may have one time, maybe once, but I will tell you that I do this job. We are not professionals by any means. We are just users of Silk and Saunders journals who absolutely love it and love sharing our adventures and journey with you guys. So I am the most accountable when I work and do more socials. So there you go. So we're excited about gratitude. Our agenda for tonight is we're going to have an opening activity. The opening activity is always one that is not in the journal. It can be done on a notes page in your journal, those little gridded pages that don't have anything on them. It can be also done on a separate sheet of paper if you're still waiting for the journal. We're going to do our February reflections, March intentions, mood tracker, and habit tracker. If you are brand new, feel free to just hang out in the social if you start to feel a little bit overwhelmed. I like to use my phone or my computer if I'm feeling fancy to take screenshots of the things I want to remember. And then I can go back to it. A lot of people do not fill out their journals during this time. Some people do. The difference between those people are you someone who wants to make it pretty, or are you using this as a productivity tool? I can fill mine out during a social because I'm using one color ink, and maybe if you're lucky, I might throw a sticker or two on there. But there are some examples I'll show you tonight that are absolutely gorgeous, and people use it as kind of a craft therapy for themselves. So there's nothing wrong with using it that way either. So there's no right or wrong way. Just make it fit the way it's going to work for you. So I really like this gratitude activity. I really was excited about this one, and I'll share my example, and then I'll give you some time to be able to work on your own personal one, and you can share as much or as little as you want to in the chat. So I want you to just close your eyes for a second. No one can see you. I'll close my eyes too if it makes you feel better, but I'll warn you, I just put new lashes on and they're a little tacky. So if my eye is all stuck together, you'll know why. So think of an event that recently happened. It could be a positive event, or it can be something that wasn't so positive, either one, something that you think you can glean something or learn something from. Okay. Yep, see my lash stuck together. I haven't put the sealant on yet. So you're going to draw a frame. Now it could be a beautiful frame like the one I'm going to show you, but you're going to see mine is not beautiful. It's just a square and it doesn't even follow the grid. I didn't pull out a ruler or anything. Inside that frame, you can draw the situation as you recall it. If you're not an artist, I'm not an artist, you can use stickers, images, words. I used photos for mine. And outside the frame, you're going to write things that you're grateful for about the event. And if it was a difficult event, and mine wasn't a difficult one, but I'll still share my learnings from it. Did anything come of it and what did you learn? So here's that gorgeous frame that yours could look like. Now I'm going to show you what mine looks like. So you can see I just drew a little box and I used some pictures. I have Kodak Zodak, I think is what it's called, one of the little mini printers that will let me take photos and print them on sticky papers. I bought it before I was a facilitator, but I have no drawing abilities, so I'm very happy I bought it for projects just like this. Nona, you're always so positive. Nona, if you're new here, I think one of her examples is actually in my deck today. She's very artistic and she's very open of the fact that, yes, this is something she loves to do and be very artistic. She's one of those people I was telling you, it makes it like a scrapbook and it's just gorgeous. And mine is the opposite, but she totally accepts all of us just the way we are. And so I want you to accept yourself the way you are too. So my husband had tickets to go see the Eagles in San Jose. Now, if you're familiar with the Bay Area, it's about an hour and a half drive from where it is that I am. It was a weeknight and I teach Pilates till 6:30 that night. And so it was a little bit of a panic to be able to get there and get in place. And of course, Tuesdays is my day that I also drive to another facility and I teach aqua aerobics to my favorite seniors that I absolutely love. And then I also had a private that I run back for. So like I was running back and forth and I was literally having to plan my food to be able to eat it in the car. And I had to like get dressed and like put on something that I could just strip off a layer and be okay to be at a concert because I was really, really lucky. These tickets were gifted to us and they were in the penthouse. Now I have a little Chihuahua. It's a zinc printer, Shelly. And he's actually in the room with me. He might make an appearance a little bit later because sometimes he jumps up in my lap during socials. And I didn't have a dog sitter. So he had to wait in the car while we did the concert. And we found a hotel that would allow the dog to be able to stay overnight. And then my husband stayed in San Jose for business for the day. And I drove home. So what were some of the things? So here's the little pictures. If you're wondering what it is, that's the picture of the Eagles. And the concert, it was absolutely phenomenal. I've never been a huge Eagles fan. Like I knew Hotel California, but nothing crazy. But they had, a symphony and choir and everything. It was just absolutely beautiful. And then the morning of, I decided that I was going to do, Wednesday's my day off. I was going to take Snickers on a dog date. So there he is. I found a restaurant that did dog like menu. So I brought him there. And then I also took him on a walk along the water. And I don't have TV, like regular TV, I only have like Netflix. So we snuggled in bed and that's the top picture of me snuggling in bed with Snickers as I watched Food Network. So what were the things that were great? Time with my husband, downtime. New people, the people that were in the penthouse were absolutely amazing. Great music, good wine and food. If you've never been in the penthouse before, they have like a buffet kind of spread up there and then you can pour your own wine. It was in nice, comfy seats. You weren't worried about someone elbowing you. It was nice. And then my doggy date. And then what was it? Even though this was a positive experience, I still did learn something that I find work-life balance by good planning. and don't just say no just because it's going to be hard. So making sure I had that food that I packed up my gym bag with my sneakers and my sunscreen to teach aqua. And I had my socks in there and my Pilates shirt and everything. I had my little food in there. So I was able to do it. And was it a hectic day? Yes. But was it absolutely, totally worth it? Absolutely. So now, after giving you my little gratitude frame, I'm going to play some music and I'm going to allow you guys to create your gratitude frame and share as much or as little, I put the words together, as much or as little as you want in the chat. Okay, welcome back. There was a lot of gratitude in that chat, and there's a lot of struggles that are going on in a lot of your lives right now. But I'm so proud of you for seeing the good side of everything. Silk and Saunders people are a resilient bunch. Excuse me. So we're going to move into our main event. We're going to work in our monthly planner. I'm going to put you on mute for a second while I cough and turn the camera off so you don't see me turn bright red. Okay, well, you still see me be bright red, but nonetheless, I apologize. I'm an asthmatic and sometimes it comes on without any warning. So the first thing we're going to do is our February reflections. If you are someone who's been with us for at least a month, I encourage you to keep your February journal there. If you are brand new, to us, you would be surprised looking at your calendar or your photos, what it is that you're able to remember from the month based on those things. Sometimes even if they're just screenshots and not photos of things that you've done. So our reflection page is on page 8 in the journal, and we're going to be looking at our wins, our challenges, favorite moments. What do you want to start, stop, and continue? I'm going to share mine. So some wins for myself is that I finally decided on the school that I wanted to sign up with for health coaching, and I start in March, mid-March. I finished after a year with a lot of health issues. I finally finished my Pilates certification of comprehensive. So, and I'm actually starting to study for my national certification. So I'm excited about that. It's been really rainy in the Bay Area, but I did get to take Snickers on one awesome hike. And then life coach on Wednesday. I have belonged to Kaiser. I don't know if anyone else does. They have an app which will give you a free life coach, and you can do a weekly appointment with them. So I started that and I really enjoyed it. February challenges. One of my goals was meditation. Unlike someone who's been really doing an awesome job on that, I have not. I really struggled with my daily rituals. At the end of the month, I did not complete all of them. And I also we had a big storm come in last week, including some snow, which we never get. So I had a 2-day migraine. Some of my favorite moments is that I have an ex-coworker that's in her mid-70s, and we did a spa day. My boss from the Pilates studio took us on a caviar date, me and the other instructor. Obviously going to see the Eagles, and that I treated myself for Valentine's Day, a wreath making class using roses and foam. Things I want to stop, start, and continue. I want to start the health coaching school. I want to stop sneaking wine on weekdays. I've not been as good about it as in November. And I want to continue doing Pilates 5 days a week. So now I'm going to give you the opportunity to fill out your reflections. Once again, this is page 8. All right. We're going to head into our next section. So this is my favorite section of the journal. We're on page 9, and it is our intentions page. And if I'm looking down, apparently when I was trying to type in the chat, it minimized my screen, which took my presenter view. So I apologize for looking down, but I don't want to have to mess with it while I'm trying to chat with you guys, because this is important work that you're doing. So with our intentions, these are the categories that they have given us: spiritual health, personal life, physical health, key relationships, money management, professional goals. Now, these may not all fit what it is that you're doing in your life right now. Maybe you're a retiree or you're a stay-at-home mom. So feel free to change any category you like. You do not have to stick with these. You can put a big old X across it, some washi tape or a sticker, and write right over it. And if one of these categories doesn't work for you, I'll show you. For me, for next week, I found a quote I really liked. And you can see I just placed it right over my to-do list for next week to give myself some grace. So you can make this journal really work for yourself. And yes, I am getting a little ahead of the game, but I'm presenting this weekend. So I wanted to make sure I was kind of getting myself set up for success. I'm going to share with you some examples of this before I set you guys free. But setting these intentions, I want you to think before you write. I want you to think about, what does your month look like? If this is a crazy month where you're trying to push out a goal, maybe you go light in the other areas. You want to set yourself up for success and do the things that fill your cup, not just the things that you want to be able to do. So, intentions, tips, and tricks. Use a theme of gratitude to set your intentions. I love this. Such a great lens to look through as we start. You can focus on one area, such as self-love or self-talk. You can use a name of a song or a tune or a scripture or a quote that inspires you. What do you want to accomplish? You can use stickers, colors, images for those sections, and I'll show you some examples of some of those. One thing you want to let go of, one thing you want to start doing. Any of these ways of looking at it are fantastic. So here's mine. I love spending a little bit of time with the magazine. So you can see that I took some little pictures and added it to it. But for me, spiritual health, I want to be outdoors or hiking. The weather hasn't permitted a lot of that in the last few months in the Bay Area. We desperately need the rain, but it's not great for my mental health. Liberate, I'm doing a challenge with them with a little bit of meditation and such. So I want to fill out all 31 days of those. My personal life, my husband's taking a business trip to Brazil and then India at the end of March and beginning of April. And I'm hoping to join him if I can get my immunizations, the dog sitter lined up, coverage for my job and such, to join him for that. Physical health, I want to continue doing Pilates 5 days a week. And that doesn't mean when I'm teaching, like I don't count the 2 mat Pilates I teach. I want to be in my body. That's important to me, just like yoga, that mind-body connection. So I want to be able to have that connection with my body and not having to worry about everybody else. So that's what it is I need, not just the physical activity. And then this one's a new one. During the pandemic, I did a lot of running. I had a pinched nerve in my back for about 6 months now. And I think it may be resolving to the point that I could start adding maybe a mile run here or there without impacting my physical therapy. So that's a new one for me. Key relationships, not letting my boss's bad moods affect me and kill my vibe. It's important to be just present as I am with you guys, with my clients. And unfortunately, my boss is going through a hard time in her life. And sometimes she kind of comes in with a little bit of a black cloud over her head. And I'm very much an empath. So I don't want to let her mood impact me and my performance. Money management, no clothing purchases this month or books besides the ones for book club. And then my professional goal is that I want to pass that national Pilates certification. I'm hoping this month. It may get pushed back a little bit. We'll see. Started studying today. It was a little harder than I thought it was going to be. Here's some other examples of what might have looked like throughout. Sometimes I tried to do big photos and I found that that wasn't very, it didn't work for me. It didn't work for me. I need more specifics to hold myself accountable for, because I reference this page when I set up my weekly every week to see what I'm doing well on and what it isn't. So after I did that month over there on the left in June, I was like, I'm going to be specific. I'm going to write things down. And then in September, I had a little more time. And so I kind of combined the both. And then sometimes on months that I don't have a lot of time, you can see I just made it very, very clear and simple. Here's some other examples of people using stickers or beautiful font, or here's an example of that. I want to do more of this and less of this. Now that one on the left is Bailey's, who's in our chat today with those cute little cats. She's done some ones like this before. And actually that one on the right for June is special to me because it was my very first time creating my intentions as a facilitator. It was 2 years ago that June, I think. Went one too far. Okay, so I'm going to give you some time to be able to work on your intentions. Feel free to share as much or as little as you want in that chat. I'll keep scrolling through these examples as we go. The stickers that I used, Patricia, I'm actually cutting things out of magazines or using my zinc printer where everybody else is getting theirs. Bailey might be able to tell you where she got those cute kitty pictures. Okay, let's get into our next section. And if you haven't noticed, Malika, one of our other facilitators, is in the chat supporting all of us as well. We're so glad that you are here. It's always nice to have facilitators in the chat. And Karen, do not feel bad about slacking. It happens. And if you listen to the daily rituals, even Mayha says it happens to her. It's not like life isn't perfect, things get in the way. And I mentioned that I was seeing that life coach through the app, and I really have been trying to dig a little deeper into my weekly versus daily habits, what I really can actually get done daily versus what I want to get done daily, especially when it's like on my days off. So what should I keep that in mind as we set up our habit tracker, which is going to be in just not the next section, but the final section that we're going to dig into. And I'll share with you some things that I'm trying that is a little bit different to try to help keep myself on track this time. And you know what? I said I was struggling with the daily rituals last month. I gave myself permission to start fresh this month. I didn't backtrack. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I don't. Make those choices for yourself of where you're at. Break up with the perfect. We're not going to be able to do everything every single day. Yeah, let it go, right? No, let it go. So we're going to dive into our mood tracker. This is page 10 in your journal. Now, I love a good mood tracker. I don't always use it as a mood tracker, but I do absolutely love it. It helps you understand the trends on how it is that you're feeling, and you can notice and begin to make shifts. And it brings tools into the works when positive mood shows up for us. So I will mention, and some of you have been with me for a while, my mood tracker is what made me choose to become a Pilates instructor full-time. I was working as at a health club as a director of children's programs. And when I was doing my certification during COVID and I was working 12-hour days, I looked at my mood tracker and I was happy every single day, besides like a day or two, like, oh, I have a migraine that day kind of thing. But as soon as I started going back to my work that was children related, I realized it was no longer for me anymore. And if I could probably say the same as when I left teaching as my career, it really did give me insight, but it doesn't necessarily have to be that. It could be something as small as, hey, the days I do my daily rituals or I meditate or I have breakfast, I notice that my mood's better on those days, or the days that I exercise or that I read or I knit. It just helps you find the trends so that you can be the happiest version of yourself. So mood tracker tips and tricks. So some for setting up one emotion from each section in the feelings chart, a few different areas from the feelings chart equal deep dive into multiple emotions for each section, or you can focus on gratitude for this month. For filling it in, you can fill in every emotion that came up that day, or fill in whatever emotion is the strongest. Sharon, I've been there. Now, maybe you really struggle with trying to identify those emotions. I know I really did when I started my Silk and Saunders journey. It's like I either was happy or angry or sad, and that was about it. That's about as much as my vocabulary allowed me to kind of come up with how I was feeling. I will put this back up when we go through our mood tracker, so don't worry about it. You work from the inside out to kind of dive deeper into those feelings. So let's say that you are wanting to feel joy, but joy isn't specific enough. So you dive a little deeper, such as optimistic, but that doesn't necessarily cut it out either. Like, I'm optimistic about my health coaching school that I'm about to start, but really that's not what I'm feeling. I'm eager to get started. I'm like, oh yeah, that's the emotion I want to dig into. Ways to repurpose. Sometimes people don't use it the way that it was intended, and that's okay. Make this journal your own. It could be a daily affirmation tracker. Anxiety levels. Bailey uses it that way. I've used it that way. We both suffer from anxiety. I don't know about her, but I also suffer from clinical depression in times in my life. So that kind of helps me. I also like to use a scale of 1 to 6 on certain things like angry or tired or excited or happy. So here's mine for this month. I started using a CPAP machine, and I know it makes me sound like such an old person, but one of the things they say is that in about a month's time, you're going to see a big difference in your energy shifts. So that's what I'm doing. I'm tracking my energy shifts on 1 to 6. And I think it's already starting to make a difference. I'm wanting to nap less and less. Oh, Malika, I didn't know you had one. Oh, it was Drew. I love that you have a CPAP too, making me feel a little better about myself. And I'm telling you, my husband's sleeping on the couch less and less from my snoring. What can I say? I'm a snorer. My mom was too. So here's some awesome examples that I love. You can see that the one on the left-hand side, people tracked more than one emotion during that day. You can see that they've highlighted different ones. I love it. It's beautiful. It's super cute. For me, I would never dig out both highlighters. So that's not going to work for me. Maybe it does for you. Maybe you have you fill out your journal at your desk and you have a cup with markers there and that works for you. I love how they did a scattering with the cute little Meg B stickers. Those are super fun and really pretty. And then I am a Potterhead, so I really do love that they took a little theme with it. And if it makes you happy, awesome. Take a theme. Use your stickers. If it makes you turn to your journal and brings you joy, do it. Here's some other examples. Someone used it as an activity tracker, and you can see they use little different doodles there. Someone else used it as a fitness tracker. I'm assuming how many minutes they worked out that day. I love this little mandala with the different colors, coloring it in as they are looking at different aspects of their life. And then someone's using it as a symptoms tracker to track their dizziness levels. Mine is one on the left. I've used it as a relaxation tracker when I'm really stressed. Here's someone who's using their Peloton and marking the types of exercise that they are doing. I love those cute little flowers. Once again, it wouldn't work for me, but it is so fun. And then this other example, I really like that they wrote different ways from the feelings chart of those emotions. And that way that they can look at those and be like, oh yeah, joy, I'm pleased. That's what I'm feeling. I'm going to mark that joy in. Oop, went one too far. Okay, so I'm going to play some music. I'm going to let you guys work in your tracker section. Let us know if you are repurposing and how you are repurposing if you are, or maybe let us know what moods that you're tracking. Some people take a positive spin and only use positive emotions, and some people run the gamut. There is no right or wrong way to do this, just what works for you. And remember, if it doesn't work halfway through the month, change it. No big deal. This is a working document. All right, we got one more section to dive into with our last few minutes. Our habit tracker. Our habit tracker is on page 11 this month. So it can be starting new habits, but don't overwhelm yourself. You can't start 5 brand new habits a month and expect yourself to be successful. It's just not possible as a human. It can also be stop doing habits that don't serve us. In November, I stopped caffeine. And so that was one of the habits that I was choosing to stop. Continue habits that bring value. I've gotten to the point that unless it's pouring down rain, because my Chihuahua is not a water dog, I walk daily, at least a mile with him. That is a habit that I'm still putting on my habit tracker, even though it is solidified, because it helps me remember to open up my habit tracker and fill it out. Tips and tricks. Once again, you can use that lens of gratitude as your focus. You can pick a theme: grounded, calm, joy, delight, etc. Continue habits from last month. It takes longer than 1 month to establish hard habits. Find a balance, habits that you know you can do and ones that are going to be trickier. So maybe you always brush your teeth at night, but not always floss. So putting those two together. And remember, you don't have to fill in every line. I definitely did not. So here's mine. Walking if no rain. Do you see how I gave myself that no rain instead of walk every day? That's giving myself grace on the days that I know my Chihuahua is not going to walk in the rain. To journal, trying to make sure I am just putting pen to paper every single day. Maybe it's a habit tracker, maybe it's bullet journaling. Hopefully it's both. And then I love the book, Simple Abundance. I've been trying for months to be able to break it into my habits. I read every night and I had it on my Kindle. And I was really struggling with having it. So I came in today. I'm hoping having a physical version where I drink my coffee in the morning will make it easier than me having to run to the bathroom. One more barrier for me establishing that habit to go grab my Kindle at night. Before, even though it's not caffeinated coffee, I still can't function until I have it in the morning. So I'm trying to break down those barriers to make myself as successful as possible. Here's somebody else's over there. They have written down all those things, but I love how they have the floss and mouthwash together. And then here's that beautiful mandala that they're able to fill out. So beautiful. That would stress me out. But if it is meditative to you and that is your meditation, awesome. There's no right or wrong way to Sonder. Here's mine from a few months ago. Daily ritual, morning ritual, 365 days of art. Some of those I'm still with, some not so much. They may make a reappearance. As things happen and change in our lives, sometimes our routines do too, and we have to pare back until we can establish some of those beginning habits, and that's okay. I love the way someone wrote sick in the middle, gave themselves grace, and also that they marked the days of the week so that they just can kind of help figure it and out. Michelle, I'm doing Life Boost coffee and I'm very much liking it. If you're struggling with some habits, here is some inspiration that you may use. I'm going to give you a little time to work on your habit tracker. Let us know if you are deciding to repurpose or what habits that you are tracking this month, and if they're new or they're one that you're still establishing or one that is established.
here we go.
Oh, that's music to my ears. Oh, that's music to my ears.
I love how many of us have things that are, oop, thought I hit pause. I love how so many of us have such common interests, such as reading. And I love the idea of 26 to with the alphabet. I don't know if you've done the Pop Sugar. They have a reading challenge. I've done that one in the past too. And it definitely gets you outside of the norm. Reading's a beautiful habit. It's so ingrained in me at this point. I don't even put it on my habit tracker, but I got plenty of things to be able to work on in the meantime. Our time together is coming to a close, but we would love for you to be able to share this in Sonder Club. That's where we do get our examples from. And this afternoon after book club, I'm going to be going in and taking screenshots for next month's monthly setup. So please share. You never know what's going to inspire someone else in the app or through a social. If you are loving Silk and Saunders, refer a friend. They get $10, you get $10. And they have this amazing candle that just came out and it smells so good and they're so high quality and they burn a really long time. Wild Ambition, so good. Also, Bailey is going to throw that YouTube link into the chat. Remember, this is not searchable. It is a private one. The chat is not there, unfortunately. And sometimes some of our music gets for copyright, especially if it's Disney. But it is a really good substitute if you need to revisit or you were unable to make a social you really wanted to be able to attend. I am going to take us out with another song, and I will throw this chill instrumental beats playlist in the chat. And I'd like to know, I know a couple of you already chimed in that you really enjoyed this style of music. Did you find it better, or do you prefer the instrumental music covers for this type of event? Let me know. I'd love to know. I want to be able to make you guys happy. I love being with you guys. Okay. I hope you feel awesome. I hope you feel ready to feel gratitude for the month and that you are just ready to go. And I hope to see you guys at the weekly setup. I can't remember which one I'm doing, but you'll see me at some point this week as we set up. And we're out, friends.
Let the blessings flow. Let the blessings flow right to my soul, my thirsting soul. Let the blessings flow.
Say I'm grateful for not anything but everything. Every loss I had to take, I took it on the chin. We stood on our 10, and I knew one day that we would win again. Been preyed on my downfall by many men. Oh Lord, I thank you for not giving in. Must I tell him once again? All I do is win.
You either win with us or watch us win.
That's why I'm grateful for anything and everything. That's why I'm grateful for anything and everything. Oh Lord, I'm grateful for anything and everything. Oh, oh. I'm so ungrateful, oh Lord. So ungrateful, oh Lord. Behind every loss that came with many rings. Even though the hatred came with many things, 'cause I can't go for anything. Even though my plate full, I can't complain, I'm grateful. Even though my plate full, I can't complain, it's everything that I pray for. Oh Lord, I'm grateful. Oh Lord, I'm grateful. Oh Lord, I'm grateful.